Shocks normally have that kind of bend in them, right? Cue the intro! Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. Week 2 of Monthly Mayhem OMG63 edition. And if you're not familiar with Monthly Mayhem or what the OMG63 thing is all about, I invite you to go back and watch the first episode. Monthly Mayhem is a monthly based challenge between Josh from Harley Designs and myself, where we try to take an existing RC and do something crazy or stupid or wacky or mayhem inducing. And this time around we've chosen the Traxxas G63 TRX6 to try and make it go fast. And in our first week, just as a quick recap, we were able to set some benchmarks on the stock truck on 3S. We also talked a little bit about the things we are going to do to make this truck go fast. And in our first week, the benchmark set in second gear, the fastest we could get it to go was 11 miles per hour, which was not very fast. I thought it was way faster. I thought it was 18 miles per hour until I realized I was recording all of my data in kilometers per hour and not miles per hour. Duh, of course. I'm Canadian. I'm gonna be doing things in kilometers most of the time. Anyway, after the conversion, 11 miles per hour is what we were able to reach. Both Josh and I were able to confirm that, and the Traxxas Link TQI software all worked flawlessly. So now that we've got our benchmark set, it's time to start modifying. And in week 2, I didn't really pull many punches and tried to do a whole bunch of stuff. The first thing and the most major thing, of course, wouldn't be this channel if I wasn't gonna delete portals off a Traxxas vehicle. So again, that's exactly what we did. We used SSDRC's Traxxas Portal Delete Kit and got this truck down by another 13 millimeters. So we're already lowering the overall center of gravity, getting rid of a lot of dirty air underneath the truck, which helps improve aerodynamic flow, and is a great way to make this truck look pretty aggressive in terms of its stance. Another excellent benefit to losing the portal reduction is losing the reduction. You get 2.5 to 1 reduction at the portal. So by getting rid of that, you're gaining 2.5 to 1. Science! You want as little reduction as possible to get as much speed out of this car. And if we're going to be going faster, the next best thing to do is get rid of these wheels and tires. While they look pretty cool and are aggressive and work really well off-road, they're pretty horrible on-road, and that's mostly because there's a very high sidewall, lots of profile on the tire. And while that's good for going over rocks and roots and all kinds of stuff, you don't want that in speed car. So what we did was we went to the Proline Avengers. This is a quality tire designed for going fast. Little to no lugs. It's got a very low profile tread pattern, low sidewall, and as an added bonus, there is a foam included. As an added bonus to this tire, it is also belted. And this belting helps to prevent ballooning of the tire at high speed. If you watched my Low Z Tenacity LaserNut U4 Rock Racer video, you will know that tires tend to balloon at speed. So this tire and wheel combo from Proline, the Avenger and their Mach 10 wheel, which is shown on the truck here, are going to help reduce that overall ballooning effect and hopefully keep the rubber on the road. I think they're a really aggressive looking road tire. They look fantastic on this truck, I have to say. They're originally for 8th scale style buggies and you know, other speedrun style cars. So what we had to do was get a hot racing adapter, 12 mil to 17 mil. This actually reduces the track width overall, and I think it looks really awesome. It's a really nice dramatic look, a big change from the stock setup, and already you can tell it looks a lot faster. And in fact, I think it's going to be. Because the next step in this evolution of this vehicle was converting to the 8S VXL8 speed control provided by Traxxas, and the included 24 what is this? I can never remember what. And the 540XL 2400 kV motor. This was a 5mm pinion, so you will have to get some additional pinions if you decide to make this modification, and it's a fairly easy modification to make. The most difficult part is finding room for that giant speed control, which I did manage to do. I think Josh is printing up a very fancy 3D printed mount. I've just hard mounted mine to the chassis using the included mounting points, so you just fire a 3mm bolt through there and you're good to go. Making sure that motor fit is not very difficult, to be honest. I had to shave a little bit of material away from the servo mount and where the shock towers are, but otherwise, I mean, it's a pretty snug fit, but it fits. And if it fits, it ships. I went with a 17-tooth pinion. I also removed the slipper from the spur gear and upgraded to a 39-tooth spur, so we're in fact even getting rid of more reduction in this transmission. I haven't done any final numbers, and you wouldn't want to trust my math anyway, but I'll see if I can figure it out for the next episode. Also, to make this body as firmly attached to this chassis as possible, I decided to lose the traditional body pins and get the Proline Secure Lock mounting kit. These things are awesome. I cannot recommend them enough. They keep the body on there super firm, and they are really easy to screw down, and installation isn't that difficult. Clip off the top of your body pin mount post, drill a hole in, screw in the grub screw, and then screw these on. Super easy, super rigid mounting point, absolutely amazing. Highly recommend those, and I'll make sure to put a link down below to all of the upgrades that I did for this week in the description. With all of that electronics and this new running gear fitted, it was time to take it out for a test. I don't have a lot of open non-public areas in which I could do a test like this, so had to be a little creative. Luckily there was a road closed and I had a little bit of space in which to work with, not too far from my house. So after making sure my gear mesh was set properly for the 5th time, I did take it out for a few runs and had some pretty great results. It is proof that this concept will work, and I'm very excited to share those details with you. So, to the film! So while some of those runs were fairly successful and we got up to a top speed of 43 miles per hour in week 2, which I'm pretty proud of, it's probably not as fast as Josh, and that's because he was goading me all weekend telling me that he was getting it up to a more ridiculous speed than I was able to achieve. But I'm taking still a measured approach to this, and while I didn't crack 50 miles per hour like he did, which is spectacular, I have to say, there were a few things that he's done that I haven't done yet. So I'm pretty sure that considering we've got the same platform with the exact same gearing and the exact same motor and speed control, and the same batteries for that matter, 3S only this week, I'm pretty confident that I'm going to get up to the same speed. And in fact, I think this is a lot more of an equal playing field this time around. In the previous challenge, there were a lot more parameters that were at our disposal, and to be totally honest with you, I wasn't prepared. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But this time around, we are pretty evenly matched. Aside from aero and tire and wheel choices, I mean, it's pretty much the same truck. I think it's pretty much the same. There, you heard it here first. So I think that's a pretty good start. What can we talk about in terms of planning for week 3? Well, there are a couple of things I've got in mind, and one of them already on the truck on the other side. I've been sandbagging you guys the whole time. Well, not really. But what I am getting into is some aero design. And the first thing that I wanted to take care of was getting rid of all the dirty air between the front and the middle rear tire. One of the things that can really unsettle a truck, and as you saw in some of the footage, is body roll. And one of the best ways to combat body roll is to get the truck as low as possible. Shortening the shocks, I think, is really important. I'm going to add 10 millimeters of fuel tubing inside the shock to limit its actual travel. So it's going to pull the whole truck down even further and hopefully prevent some of that body roll. I'd like to get a stiffer spring on these shocks as well. And hopefully avoid bending any further shocks like this one. I mean, the truck did meet not just the camera at one point, but also a number of cement barriers. It did get fairly unsettled once I was getting up to those higher speeds, and it's mostly due to aero and all that air underneath. And one of the best ways to combat that is to build some aerodynamic shrouding around the bottom of the truck. You want to avoid getting dirty air underneath the vehicle, and one of the best ways to do that is a front splitter. I will be adding a front splitter. There are also these side sort of what I'm calling barge boards, and it's sort of like making sure that the air has a good smooth flow of travel around the wheels. I think that's really key as well. And definitely there will be some sort of rear diffuser. I've got to figure that out. I'm not the best at 3D design. I'm still learning, and this stuff doesn't come very naturally for me because it's harder for me to think in 3 dimensions sometimes, especially on a computer. So we're going to work on that. Probably not all going to be done for week 3, but that's certainly something that is going to be coming in the future. As one of the other things for week 3 is also going to be the inclusion of all those overdrive ring and pinion gears. That's going to take away some of the reduction again and probably get up to Josh speeds by that point as well. We'll be on a pretty even playing field, and I believe in week 3 we can even go to 4S if we so choose. So we're going to give that a try as well. But positive things happening. It's looking really good, and I'm feeling really good this time too. I'd also, actually, you know what? I'd also really like to get the lights working again. And I think I just need one specific cable, and they'll plug, then everything will plug back together using the existing light controller and this 8S speed control. So that's pretty much it. I think we're in good shape. Are we beating Josh yet? No, but there's still 3 weeks remaining. And I think we've got this. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tonight, where we're going to talk about these things live at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm looking forward to that because it's always great to share some behind the scenes sort of stuff with you guys. So I hope you will tune in for that. Thank you so much for watching. See you again soon.